Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Welcome to Temple Sinai. I'm Lynn Weinstein, the co-president of our congregation, along with Betty Adams, and she'll be providing some messages to you later in the service this evening. Before we start our worship service, I'd like to ask everyone to please be sure that their cell phones or other electronics are silenced. Thank you. Rabbi Bass is not with us tonight. She was not feeling well earlier today, and so our service will be wonderfully led by our student cantor, Dan Geigerman, accompanied by Dr. Dave on the piano. And we look forward to a joyful evening of Shabbos here. This evening, instead of going outside for our oneg, we're going to enjoy coffee and a little bit of nash here inside the building because the weather was a little bit unpredictable earlier today, and we thought it would be wise to stay indoors tonight. We also welcome our friends in Temple Sinai family who are joining us in Temple Sinai Internet land, and look forward to having them have an opportunity to participate with us this evening as well. So again, relax, enjoy yourselves, get to know someone that you don't yet know here in our sanctuary when it comes to oneg time this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Lynn. I thought we would start off this evening's service with a new tune for the words of Hine Matov. It's quite easy to follow along. The chorus goes like this. Yadadai, yadadai, hine matov. Yadadai, yadadai, umanayim. Yadadai, yadadai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Yadadai, yadadai, hine matov. Yadadai, yadadai, umanayim. Yadadai, yadadai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov. Yadadai, yadadai, Hine Matov. Yadadai, yadadai, umanayim. Yadadai, yadadai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Yadadai, yadadai, hine matov. Yadadai, yadadai, umanayim. Yadadai, yadadai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov. Yadadai, yadadai, Hine Matov. Yadadai, yadadai, umanayim. Yadadai, yadadai, shevet achim. Shevet achim gam yachad. now for a very special candle blessing in honor of their anniversary. We have Helene and Cindy Wortel.
Thank you.
We are on page 120 and 121.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words which we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Now that we've blessed the light and brought it in here with us, we bless the sweetness of Shabbat on page 122 and 123 with the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha Be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. We now continue on page 142 as we welcome the angels into our presence that they may be with us during this time of Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem Leshalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. that we have welcomed the angels, we turn to page 138, turning back, for the words of Lecha Dodi. In Kabbalistic tradition, if you've ever seen the tree of life, the spherot, the 8 spheres that encompass the making of what we believe Adonai is, you'll see that there are masculine parts of God and there are feminine parts of God. And here with Lecha Dodi, we seek to bring those two together in a marriage of God and Shabbat. And so this is the origin behind the Lecha Dodi. As traditionally in our congregation, we will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the 9th verse, we will rise and turn and greet the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad ishmiyanu el hamilchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shemu tiferet v'litchila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'makshava tehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri hitoreri Giva horei kumi ori Uri uri shir daberi Kivod Adonai alayich nehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom Ateret ba'ala Gam besimcha uvetzola Tochem unei Am segula Boi chala Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We continue on page 146. We remain standing for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai dai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai. You may be seated. We continue with the words of Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148, thanking God for all that is around us that is so full of beauty. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim. Bechokma poteach she'arim uvidvuna mishaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem berakia kirtzono barakia kirtzono. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. We continue together on page 151 with the bottom of the page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn the page and rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutzo, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutzo, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. We continue with the chanting together of the Ve'ahavta on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'otecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Ayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta baham, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, Ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru, vasitem et kol mitzvotai, Vitem kidoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. We read responsively on the bottom of page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be at one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. We turn the page for the Micha Mocha. kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netzar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netzar b'kodesh. No tehilot, o seifele, no tehilot, o seifele, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam ze'elianu ve'amru ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netzar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netzar b'kodesh. No tehilot, o seifele, no tehilot, o seifele, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. We turn the page, the words of Hashkivenu, the words asking God to bring the Shekhinah down to us, to wrap us in peace and love. And we hope that these words of prayer reach those across the world who are in difficult situations, not only in Ukraine, but also in China, also here in the United States as well. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Spread your shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. we take a moment to focus our thoughts before the tefillah portion. We turn to page 65 and read together in the middle of the page. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise together for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Baal Givurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. We take this moment for our own silent prayers. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam Ve'ahavot Tikabel U'tehile ratzon Tamid avodah Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Koreav Pnei Elavadecha Vechonenu Shefach Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena einenu Meshuvecha leTzion Berachamim Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato LeTzion. We now turn to our Torah service for this evening. I can never remember the page. Anybody? There we go. Reading the Torah on Shabbat, page 362. And we rise as we open the ark. Ein kemocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kemaasecha malechutecha malechut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor v'hator Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch leolam va'ed Adonai os le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Av harachamim eitzim v'betzonecha et Zion tivnei chomat Yerushalayim tivnei chomot Yerushalayim ki lecha levad batachnu melech נישא אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני בירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדלו אדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני המלאכה, להעמיד נעשה לכל ראש. It's hard work carrying the Torah. Yeah, you have to be extra careful. We are at the beginning of the third book, Vayikra. It is on page 757 of our red clout commentary, and keep those handy after the reading of the Torah for a little bit of drash. So all who wish to have this aliyah to say the Torah blessing, please rise in place as we recite. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Vayikra el Moshe, Vaydaber Adonai alav me'ohel moed lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael v'marta aleihem, Adam ki yakriv michem korban ladonai, min habhema, min habakar, umin hatzon. Tikrivu et korbanchem. Im ola korbano min habakar zakar, tamim yakrivenu al petach ohel moed, yakriv oto lirtzono lifnei Adonai. We now recite the blessing after the Torah together. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May you all be blessed on this aliyah, on coming up to the Torah. May you carry these words out from this place to every part of your life. And we say together, Amen. You may be seated. So a little bit of translation. The Lord called, Vayikra, called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, "Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, when any of you presents an offering of cattle to the Lord, he shall choose his offering and offering from the herd or from the flock. If his offering is a burnt offering from the herd, he shall make his offering a male without blemish. He shall bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting for acceptance on his behalf before the Lord." Let's see. Great. We now turn our thoughts to those who may need a little bit of extra healing, a little bit of refuah shlema, not only the healing of the body, but of the mind and even of the spirit, with the words on page 371 in the middle. Our dear friend, Debbie Friedman, may she be a blessing. This tune, synonymous with the prayer for healing throughout the world, no matter what language you speak. Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. We now take a moment to recite those names of those we hold deep in our heart at this moment. We have a list over here on top of our sacred Torah of those who are part of our family, members and non-members. So at this moment, if you would like to say the names of those who you are thinking of out loud, please do so. We continue with the rest of the blessing. Berach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen.
And a special refuah shalema to Rabbi Aviva overnight tonight.
Yes. We now turn to page 374. We call our, hold on, not yet. We turn to page 370 and call our Hagbah, Eric Adams, up to lift the Torah. Look for that big space in between the Shemot and Vayikra, between the two books. Thank you, Eric. We rise as we return the Torah to the ark. Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. Yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai yai dai dai, yai dai dai. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם. You may be seated. I have a pet peeve. I have a pet peeve, and it's the reason that I do not go to the movie theater anymore. And it's not just because these past 2 years they've been closed. My pet peeve is this. I don't like people talking during movies. I don't like people cheering. Because there's so much more than just the dialogue. People cheer, yay, wonderful, when the enemy has been beaten, and there might be no dialogue, so people think, yay, we can cheer at this part since nobody has to listen to anything. Not me. I want to hear the music underneath. Think about a movie that is famous. Most likely you're thinking of one right now that has a melody that you could hum along to. Da, 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 da. Thank you, Lynn. But you see, like, the last one that I went to was The Rise of Skywalker. And you know how all of the Star Wars movies start with that big da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? And then everybody starts cheering, and I'm like, no, I want to listen to the music. So that is my pet peeve. So if ever anybody is watching a movie and sitting with me in the same room, don't you dare say a word. But no, what I want to do right now is I want you to open up those red Plout commentaries to the page 757, and I want us to take a look at something here. The first word of the Torah portion, Vayikra. Does anybody notice anything interesting about that word? The way that it's printed in the book? Or does anybody know what I'm going to be talking about tonight? There's a little star above the, what letter is that? Aleph, yes. Now if you look at another Aleph on the page, you will see that that Aleph in Vayikra is smaller. We call this I mean, not really creatively, the small aleph. And there are a lot of different teachings as to why this aleph is small. It's not only small in the printed books that you have right there, your Chumash, but it's also small in the Torah scroll itself, which is very interesting. Whenever there are things that go against the norms, the rabbis decide, yes, we must talk about this forever. And have they talked about it? So, last we left Moses in the previous book, God had finally descended upon the Mishkan. Moses had not gone in yet to commune, to talk with God. So, picture yourself back then. The Mishkan is complete, and you're standing there in front of the door, and God is in there. I'd be shaking in my boots. But here it says, Vayikra, God called to Moses. We hear from the Rashbam, Rashi's son, yes, Rashi's son, that this is a bridge. This is an invitation of welcome into the space, into this new holy space that has been made even more holy by the presence of God. And who is writing? Who is the original scribe of the Torah? Moses. Yes, exactly. And he's writing all of this stuff down. And he writes a small aleph because he doesn't want to take too much credit. He has this sense of humility. What he is trying to say is, don't say Vayikra, say Vayikar. And if you drop the aleph off of it, it's Vayikar. And Vayikar is more of a by chance. Doesn't have that sense of purpose, that sense of welcome. It's more humbly thanking. And we see this later on with Bilam, the non-Jewish diviner or prophet, where it says that God happened upon Vayikar el Balaam. We see that this was just a happenstance, that God happened to be passing by Bilam. But it is purposeful that God invited Moses into the space. Now, this shows the two different views about Moses, the prophet, the humble prophet, who believes that everything in the world is on purpose. There's purpose behind everything that God has created. Whereas Bilam, it's more of a happenstance, and God pops in every now and then to say hi. We can also look at this as Eitz Chaim, the Machazikim Ba. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast. Do you take those words with you every single day? Or do you only experience them by chance when you're here at the synagogue? There's another teaching that the aleph, which makes what sound? It's silent. Yes, exactly. It's a trick question. It's a silent letter. It symbolizes all of the letters in one. That silence. I talked a couple weeks ago about the silent meditation, the time for you to listen and to talk with God yourself. And this links back to my pet peeve. What is the best way to experience nature and to experience the world? Is to be silent and listen and appreciate it. We also have the teaching that the first letter of the Torah, which is Bet, because God began the world with speaking. But here, we have the Aleph, the silence before creation. And if we take a look at that Aleph, another teaching tells us that it contains within it the essence of God. If you look at the letter in any of the books, what does it look like? It looks like three other Hebrew letters put together to create a new letter. If you take a look at it, it might look like a vav and two yuds. One of the yuds is upside down. Now, if anybody here is fluent in gematria, what is vav yud yud? Anybody? 26. What is also 26? Yud He Vav He. So within this Aleph, not only contains silence, but it also contains everything. It contains God, it contains the world, it contains our hopes and our dreams, it contains a sense of humility, that we are here in this wonderful creation of the world, and every now and then we must be silent and we must enjoy what has been given to us. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.
In honor, hello?
There we go.
In honor of Cantor Dan's wonderful words, I'm not going to give any announcements. Just kidding. Just kidding. Because I am Betty Adams, co-president of Temple Sinai, along with Lynn Weinstein. Thank you so much, Cantor Dan and Dr. Dave, for a wonderful service so far, and I'm sure the rest will be as well. We would like to thank the following sponsors for this weekend's Shabbat services. Joyce and Dr. Jerome Simon, in memory of Joyce's beloved mother, Molly Baymel. Joan and Leonard Weiser, in memory of Joan's father, Milton Scorman, and brother, Stephen Scorman. Helene and Sidney Wortell, in honor of their wedding anniversary. Judy and Dick Herman, in honor of the birth of their first great-grandson, Reed Marin Orr. Mazel tov. The following donation to the Community Food Pantry is sponsored by Rhonda Arst and Monty Arst in honor of their parents, Maxine and David Arst's 70th wedding anniversary. Wow. And tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Helene and Sidney Wortell in honor of their wedding anniversary. Our Saturday, March 12th Shabbat Torah study is sponsored by Rebecca Lippman in memory of her beloved son, Dr. Douglas Wolfe, Margaret Chapman and Stanley Schenker in honor of their family birthdays, daughter Maura Schenker, son-in-law Antonio DeBruno, grandsons Maverick Joe Schenker and Leo Goodman Rubin. Susan Holtzman and Earl Silver in honor of Ronnie Richmond's special birthday, and Jim and Arlette Hurt in honor of Marcia Levine for rescuing and donating a homeless Talit to Temple Sinai. That's so sweet. And now some brief announcements. Maybe. Okay, on March 20th, Sunday, March 20th, Sundays at Sinai presents a fascinating look at spies and espionage, the men and women of World War I and World War II by Mark Newman, author and instructor, and he's also known as Mr. History. It sounds interesting to me. And that same afternoon in the lobby, Sisterhood is having a fundraiser selling hand-painted canasta gift items and note cards that can be personalized while you wait. You can see Jane Brown or Estelle Morgenstein tonight at the Oneg to sign up, or you can call, wait, I'm prepared, 561-276-6161, extension 204. This is not because you all need to see it, but the people out there don't really want to have to jot down a number that I'm reading. Okay, I'm holding it up a little better for those out in internet land. And let's see, Sisterhood is also having, from For those who could use some fresh air, Sisterhood is hosting a presentation at Green Cay Nature Center on Wednesday, March 30th. There will be a naturalist presentation in the Nature Center meeting room, followed by a guided tour outside. There is a small fee, which includes a donation to Sisterhood. I believe you can see Sue Goincher tonight if you're in the sanctuary with us to sign up, or you can leave a message at, my phone number's, here it is, 561-276-6161, extension 157, and that is the Sisterhood hotline. It may or may not say Sisterhood when you call, but it definitely is, and they will get the message and call you back and sign you up. And let's see, did I forget anything tonight? Oh my goodness, I'm so disorganized. How could I forget? I just want to make a statement about the Sisterhood Green Cay. The deadline to sign up is March 25th. There is a limit of 50 people, and I bet it's going to be popular, so you really should sign up. There are flyers in the lobby for those that are here with us if you want to take it home and think about it. And yes, we are having a Purim party in the building tomorrow night. For those of you who have already RSVP'd, we can't wait to see you. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you still have not signed up and you are interested, hold on, there's a number for that. Maybe there isn't. Anyway, it's extension 124, 561-276-6161, extension 124. If you're here tonight, you can see Sue Wexler and tell her you're coming if you haven't done so already. We just want to have a head count. It's important to us at this time to do that. Definitely, we were having Shabbat morning services at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Shabbat Torah study at 12:30 on Zoom only. Shabbat's morning services are in the sanctuary, and they will also be virtual. Shabbat Shalom. I think that's quite enough out of me.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Betty. We now conclude our service on page 586 as we rise and the ark is open for the Aleinu. We are carrying the stories of the ones who came before. What stories will be told of us when we are here no more? We commit ourselves to action. It brings meaning to our days. Aleinu l'shabeach. It's time to live our praise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. Latet gerula leotzer breshit. Shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot. Velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama. Shelo sam chelkeinu kahem. Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umotim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad. You may be seated. I invite our co-president, Lynn, to lead us with the Kaddish Yato.
As we turn to our concluding prayers, we remember loved ones, members, and friends of Temple Sinai whose yahrzeits are observed during this Shabbat. Some have names on memorial plaques throughout our sanctuary, and they include Annabelle Baden, Francis P. Cohen, Frederick Howard Einhorn, David Gerstenzang, Edwin B. Gordon, Mary Canfer, Robert E. Link, Dr. Albert Palmer, Samuel Rothstein, Maury Shapiro, Isidore Wall, Milton Weissenberg, and Dr. Douglas Wolfe. Others who are remembered include Molly Bymel, Betty Cotton, Sidney Ketchorin, Jack Lubart, Carolyn Maklis, Dr. Alvin Schengold, Ann Sigmund, Milton Scorman, and Stephen Scorman. We also remember those who've passed in recent weeks and are still in the Shloshim period. Included are Cecil Marion, Robert Chalnick, Morgan Casey Leon, Stephen Goldman, and Maury Rollager. I have something to share with members and friends of Temple Sinai. We learned late on yesterday that we lost a longtime member of this congregation. Peggy Jupiter had been a board member here and a spark within this congregation. In recent years, she's been in poor health, and her family let us know yesterday that she had passed. Services for Peggy are scheduled on Monday in Miami, so she can be buried with her beside her beloved Jack. For those of you here or anyone who's joining us from home, if you have additional questions, please call me at the office on Monday. We send strong condolences to her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. The light of life is a finite flame, like the Shabbat candles. Life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. Let's all turn to the Kaddish Yatom in our prayer books on page 598, and ask those at home who are remembering loved ones to join us as we rise together in prayer and recite together.
Gadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen.
May the source of peace offer wonderful remembrances of those who've been lost, including those we lost in the Shoah, as well as those who've been lost in recent days in the Ukraine. And together we say amen.
Amen. You may be seated. We will end tonight's service on page 625 with the words of Adon Olam. And here we see again our friend the Aleph in Adon. So let us take our own small little Aleph, put it in our pocket, and take it with us from this place to remind us to live in humility, to take moments of silence to appreciate the world and appreciate those around us. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'ed Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hove Vehu Yiyeh Betifara Vehu Yiyeh Betifara Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira Veli Reshit Veli Tachlit Velo ha'oz ve'hamisra Velo ha'oz ve'hamisra Vehu eli v'chai go'ali V'tzur chavli ve'etzara Vehu nisi umanosli Menat kosi ve'yom ekra Menat kosi ve'yom ekra Ve'yahado avkid ruchi Ve'et ishan ve'aira Ve'im ruchi gevi'atzi Adonai li ve'lo ira Adonai li ve'lo ira. We have a motzi to do right before we head back for our little oneg. We sing together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.